Hoo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay. Of course, Judith's on. Of course. Whirlwind Dreamer, Superfluous Scotsman. It's always great to see the Scotsman. It's like an addictive thing. I got a Toigami. Where you been, bro? Dude, have you seen what I'm doing with my statues? You haven't. You have not. Hey, Trey Arc. I would love to go live with you, but I have El Tigre Vegano on. Josh. My great friend Josh. Oh, there she is. Amparo. Amparo, can you translate for me? Amparo's going to translate. Okay, hold on one sec. Let me say hi to you guys. Let's get funny. Let's get stupid. Why is this not working? There we go. Okay, Jason. Vegano. Hold on. Trey's will go. What's up, everyone? Hey!
¿Cómo está, amigo?
Look at it.
Hi.
Amparo, ¿qué lo que?
Hold on, let me go on speaker. Hold on.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. ¿Usted?
Bien. I've known Amparo
Uh-huh.
since 1998, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He conocido a Amparo desde 1998.
Yeah.
Porque estaba trabajando en un proyecto con Justin BUA en Comedy Central.
Sí.
Sí.
Es cierto.
Se llama Urbania, sí. So ella es más o menos mi tía. She's basically my aunt.
Okay.
Well, this is my mother in many ways, too. Like, she's your aunt. She's my mother.
Right.
Amparo, do you know how to make the coffee?
Well,
¿Y quieres preparado en café?
¿para quién?
Conmigo. ¿Por qué no?
Y
Porque
yo también.
Porque yo tengo, mira, yo tengo aquí y aquí, como les dominicanos, colombianas. Ah, coño, mira, ¿qué pasa, bro?
Yo no sé.
Hey, bro! Okay, guys, you literally are my favorite artist. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Listen, guys, listen. I wanted to tell everybody, Jason Andors, who is El Tigre Vegano, is a comedian and one of my greatest friends, maybe my best friend. He fights for my best friend status a lot.
You fight for mine too, though.
I feel like I'll never get yours because you always throw your brother in there, which doesn't really count because he's your family. But I don't have family, so I can't do that.
Right, well, we could talk about friends, brothers separate.
Okay,
you can talk about your daughter. You have a daughter.
Yeah,
Yo no
that's true.
tengo hija. Tú
Daughters.
tienes hija.
I have two daughters, and
Era mi mejor
both my best
amigo,
friends.
pero I wasn't his best man at his wedding.
Right,
His
but
first wedding.
That was a political maneuver because Ruben, who's also been on the show, is very jealous. He's a jealous person.
Sí.
Yo
no era su mejor hombre en su boda, su amigo Ruben, pero Justin y yo, hablábamos de esa y we organized the situation. We knew it was smart because at that time we were hanging out really tight. I was living in your house. And there was a moment like, you have your best friend with Ruben moments when you're painting and you're real spiritual, artist, smartest crap. And then when we're joking around, you're like, wait a minute, comedy's a little more fun than art. So we become best friends in that moment.
Well,
and that moment during your wedding, we were best friends. But we discussed Ruben will be very hurt and he should be the best man.
I feel like Ruben's a little bit more feminine in that way. Which is so weird because he asked who was more gay between you and him, and I went into a whole diatribe of talking about you and him the other day on a personal note. But anyway,
Amparo. Amparo. Go, Justin. Check this out, Just. I was just watching you on YouTube.
What are you watching?
This right here is a scene, una escena de la película Beat Street. And it's una batalla famosa en la película. Y es Justin aquí. Justin fue un extra, pero una estrella al mismo tiempo.
I was
He was an extra and a star. You were a starring extra. In that scene. See? Aquí. Mira. Voy a mostrar parte de la scene.
Hold on. But no. Were you going to show the 1 second a minute?
You're coming
Beach-
up, right?
Here comes Beach Street.
Oh, wait, I skipped you.
No, it's okay. I'm in the battle, though, the whole battle. I'm right there in the front. I'm right next to Coco.
This is not you.
No, that is not me.
Look.
Oh, God.
Anyway, yeah, that was a bad,
That was terrible.
that was terrible.
You've lost all your followers right now because you're speaking in English.
Sí.
Listen, who cares? Let's get
Hola.
into...
Voy a hablar español poquito también. Mi seguidor, I have a lot of followers, most, 80, 90% from Dominican
Okay.
Republic. Mi familia, es mi casa, República Dominicana. Aquí,
So-
los Estados Unidos no me gusta mucho. I don't like the United States.
I've known Jason since he was 10 and I was 12. Does that sound right?
No, you were 15 and I was 12. Le conocí a Justin cuando él tenía 15 y yo tenía 12. Sí.
Oh, mi gente. What's up, Spliff? Okay, what's up, Gillespie? And I just wanted to say, I've known Jason a very long time. Jason and I have worked on many projects together, including feature films, animated TV shows. Jason was writing the Comedy Central show with me. I moved him out to California. And when I say I moved you out, you moved yourself out, but it sounds cool.
No, it sounds great.
Scotsman, for the token Scottish guy, what language is he speaking? Spanish.
Should have paid more attention in Spanish class. Yo también. Yo no hice mi tarea cuando era pequeño. Like, I didn't do my homework when I was a kid in school. Never took Spanish. Never passed a class. I passed in 9th grade because we snuck in the back of the room. I had it 9th period, and we snuck in the back and put a piece of paper in the door. Me and Chris Kovac, and we snuck in the room and changed my 30s. I had 30s. We changed them to A. Yeah, and I got an A on my report card. That's the only time I passed.
So Jason
I took a hot shower. I'm sweating.
Very famous comedian, but never rode the wave of superstardom like many of his friends. Let's be honest, Jason. You've performed with everybody. You performed with Kevin Hart, with everybody. JB Smoove. I mean, the list goes on. You could probably Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
There's many people that you came up with, and Jason is just one of those guys who never really got into the big movies and the feature world and the TV world. You've been definitely, you had
A failure. Okay, move on.
Showtime at the Apollo. Hold on. I'm doing this.
Okay, all right.
He got a standing ovation at Showtime at the Apollo. He had his own special on Premium Blend Comedy Central. He's done a lot of stuff, but, he never got that role like J.B. Smoove got in the Larry David Show, or Kevin Hart just blew up, whatever. Zach Galifianakis is a movie star. So Jason went to he learned Spanish on his own. And this is a guy who has a shitty ear. He's got a terrible, no, I'm kidding. He's got a, no, no, it's true though. Like, no, yeah, and he's also a dancer. No, listen, Jason was a professional ballet dancer. He's a very, very, very high level, high trained dancer. He got injured. He went into comedy very early though, and he. By
the way, this is how good friends we are. That I don't have to say one thing about my life.
Yeah.
Go on. I don't feel like talking anyway. So what else did I do?
Yeah. No, but it's true. I mean, honestly, there's I know a lot of comedians. I think Jason's definitely one of the funniest people I've ever met. And I'm not saying that because he's my friend. He's actually funny in real life. There are a lot of comedians out there who are not funny in real life. There's a lot of comedians who are just flat. And there's a lot of comedians who have shticks. And then there's a lot of comedians that get lucky. And then
which is proof you can get good at anything if you put in the hard work.
Yes. But
hard work is sometimes more important. Absolutely. If you're super talented and you put in the hard work, that's when you're going to get to the top. You know what I'm saying? Like those comics that are really like the legends, they also put in a ton of work. They did they pounded out a lot of specials, Yeah.
There's a lot, and then there's also comedians that are really just freaking funny. But Jason is legitimately funny. He's legit funny. He's legit on the grind. And now, ever since he kind of been able to capture the Spanish language, he's got a whole Spanish set, and he's incredibly famous in the Dominican Republic.
How did that happen? What all of a sudden were you this New Yorker who learned Spanish, and now this guy can't go. He'll FaceTime me from the Dominican Republic, and there's not a moment where he's not signing an autograph, people jumping off their motorcycles to give him a hug, everybody shouting his name in the street, and everybody knows him in Dominican Republic. It's actually quite bizarre because I know him as Jason Andors, but the rest of the world knows Jason as El Tigre Vecana.
Yeah, I don't even like returning to the United States back to Jason Andors. It's like, fuck Jason Andors at this point. 26 years of comedy, and I make my living from it, you know, but that struggle here, there's like thousands and thousands of really excellent comedians. And I was never a good kiss ass. I never was very good at politicking. I'm just good at being funny, going on stage and doing my job. And politicking is way more important. So anyway, what happened
It's
was...
true. It's important. It's
yeah.
all important, right? Everything's important in the game of success.
Right. If you work super hard, and you're super talented, you'll probably get discovered, or everyone's going to want to book you on their shows, and you're going to get famous that way too. If you're really talented, you're funny, and you're not really putting in the super hard work of kissing ass and calling everybody and trying to get agents and all that, you could still stay below everybody. You know, and I think there's a good amount of comics on that level. So what happened was, I visited my cousin, mi primo. Voy a hablar, mi primo in República Dominicana. I visited my cousin. We're going to do this in English. And people, lo siento a mis seguidores en español, pero vamos a hacer esta entrevista en inglés. Está bien.
Good.
Okay, mira. I visited my cousin in Dominican Republic. He knew, like, since I was little, you and I always loved the Latin culture. We both were poppers as kids. We both were, lower middle class kids that had good families, but, well, sort of, you're right. I mean, we had good families, kind of, right? We did. Yeah. I mean, we had this dysfunctional family, but my family, very loving,
Very loving.
But we were street kids. Like, we liked to hang out, go out in the street all the time. And my point is that I forgot my point. What's my point? Oh, so anyway.
You have no point. This is a useless
We always love Latin culture. I always loved Latinas. I was more attracted to Latinas. My cousin called me once and he said, Jason, I'm living in Dominican Republic. You got to visit. If you like, you got to visit me. So I did. I visited him about 15 years ago, and he lived in a town called Villa Meja. And that's the town my character, El Tigre Bacano, says he's from, Villa Meja. And for you people that don't know, I film a lot of my videos in all the barrios, like the craziest hoods in Dominican Republic. And I hang out with the people. And that's, I think that's, why a lot of Dominicans show love for me, because I'm not like, I don't know, I'm just a regular person hanging out with the people in my videos.
I mean, you're very authentic and you love the culture. I mean, you love the Spanish language alone as much as, if not more, than many Spanish people, and you're infatuated with the culture.
I pretty much got good at things in my life that I love to do. And learning Spanish and that Latin culture was something I loved, and that's how I learned Spanish on my own. I didn't have to go to school for that. I got good at ballet when I did ballet because I loved doing it. So when I went to Dominican...
And popping, and he's very good at popping.
And popping, too. And pool. When I played pool, I loved playing pool, and I got really good at it quick. I was very depressed. I was 20. I was injured in dance. I had to quit School of American Ballet. And I was miserable, so I just started hustling pool and playing pool and being a full-on loser for 2 years. So moving on. So, by the way, never take a hot shower right before you do a live.
What do you mean? Is that an O'Keefe and Merritt? Where? You have an O'Keefe painting in your house?
Who?
You got my DJ piece in your son's room. Cool, man.
So, I visited my cousin. I met this girl I liked, but she spoke no English. So I really liked her personality, So anyway, you're right. Umpada.
Someone's saying my stove. I don't know what you mean. My stove is I don't know what my stove is. Go ahead. I'm listening. Listen, okay. I'm making coffee the old school way.
No, it's much better. I gotta get one of those.
This is the way to do it. If you're Dominican, you got to do it this way.
Yeah. Tú tienes mucho de razón. You're right. So, I
Hey, wait. Tiffany from Ohio stopping by. Don't leave. Don't leave until this is over. Don't leave until this is over.
Yeah, where are you going?
No, this is better than a percolator, Whirlwind. Look.
Look what that did to my hair.
I'm going to fill this up. Hold on.
All right. So, should I just talk to everybody while you're gone?
Yeah, of course.
So check it out. I went to Dominican Republic. My cousin.
No,
I'm gonna wait. Jess, I'm gonna wait. Let's see who's speaking. Hola, linda. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
It's time for the percolator. That song was my shit. You see
Let
what
me
I'm
tell
saying?
you something. It's always
you
time
saying,
for the percolator.
It's always perculator. I don't
I'm
like the fact that
right now.
her is at the end of that word.
Maya, motherfucker.
By the way, I don't like the fact that her is at the end of that word. It should be percolate him.
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I says it.
Thank you.
I says it.
Mira,
and I do's it.
¿Qué te pasa con
Hola,
perculator?
pata.
Palabra es eso. Solo
Hola.
por le machismo.
¿Cómo estás? Soy tu
Coño.
sobrino.
Mira, marico.
Es verdad,
cabrón,
tú
cállate
tienes
tu boca,
un sobrino
pendejo.
gay. Sí. Okay, dime. Just,
Sí.
we're back?
Yes.
All right. Where was I? Oh, I visited my cousin. I like this girl, right? She spoke no English. So
Is
he
the
had to get
story
her-
over?
I was thinking the same thing about my own
I was
story in
like,
my head.
do it. Who
That's
cares
not-
about your story? You went there. You loved
Listen.
Dominican Republic. Okay,
Listen.
good. Tell the story.
Couldn't speak English.
Oh my God! You met a woman. Go ahead.
He had to translate for me. Oh my God. I know the people are thinking, thank God there ain't no translator for this story. So he had to translate everything.
Exactly, Josh.
He got the phone number, her phone number for me. He had to call her for me, right? He probably banged her for me too. I don't know what he did. But
Jesus.
the point is, I came back to New York so frustrated that I couldn't speak Spanish. I signed up for a school and went for like a year and a half every day.
Okay.
I didn't even do road gigs for a year and a half. That's how focused I was. And then I just read Spanish and it started, going online and just meeting people and talking. And then I went to visit my cousin. I got better. Boom, boom. And later on, I started doing social media with some of my Dominican friends, Tommy Pena and Ivan. And a video went viral as Tigre Bacana. We did all types of characters. I mean, I was doing whatever, the gay character, hillbilly, the thug, the Italian. But that one took off. And my page became pretty much Dominican. And then I went to Santiago one time saying I'm going to go there just to film the city. I'd never been there. And the mayor and the people had people pick me up at the airport. It was really cool from a loser character on Instagram.
You're like a legit celebrity in Dominican Republic.
Yeah, making like no money from it too. I do it for the love. I work at oh, okay. Yeah, you became a pothead.
No, I'm not a pot. I haven't smoked in weeks, by the way. I have to light my oven because she extinguished it.
By the way, when I used to smoke when we were younger, when we first connected, when Justin and I first became the best friend road started. It started late. He was like kind of an older brother to me in the neighborhood. Like I always felt safe. Like he kind of felt a protective feel. Because he heard about like, oh, there's another white guy that pops in the neighborhood. And I was coming back from my junior high school on our school bus. And Justin came on the bus. It's like, yo, you Jason? I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Who are you? He's like, yo, I'm Justin. I heard you pop. And then we started talking. And then I went back to his house. And it was kind of weird because he was 15 and I was 12. And there was a girl back at his house with him. And he starts dancing for her. And I'm like, yeah. Like I'm acting like I'm into it, but I don't really know this guy. And it's getting really weird. When he started stripping for her. And he took his shirt off, and then when he opened his pants to, like, get to that point, my hand's on the doorknob, ready to run out of the house. He gives me, like, a look as he's dancing for her, like I'm supposed to, like, be into it with him, you know? It was very weird, Jess. I think we should talk about this.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I love you, and I feel like we should definitely dance together right now. Listen to this, guys. Did he offer you candy? I know, right? This is Jason. Ready? That's how it goes. And as it steams, it will go into here, the top.
Hold on one sec, Jess.
Hey, guys. While Jason is leaving, please ask us any questions that you want to know. This guy is legitimately, I've seen him at the craziest clubs in the world, like literally up in Harlem, Brooklyn, the roughest clubs. And he's always crushed. Always. He's like legit. Yes, it is the best coffee ever. But I'm not kidding when I say he's literally one of my favorite comics. And you guys know I'm friends with JB Smoove, and I'm friends with Russell Peters and all these great comics. I consider Jason to be, in my opinion, the funniest. Really. What's my ethnicity? I'm a Jew Rican with a little Italian, and I got a little Scotsman in me too. Hey, Jace, tell us your favorite joke. By the way, my boy Scotsman is actually from Scotland.
Wow. I don't have a favorite joke. I never remember like book jokes, but I'll tell you my favorite comedians. Are you ready for that, Jess?
Yeah, of course.
My favorite comedian, well, when I was doing, it's a couple, and it's hard to say who is my top.
Okay.
I'm definitely a Louis
Did your
C.K.
voice
fan.
just crack in a weird way that we're not gonna
talk
about
puberty
that for a little bit?
I'm still going through puberty. Hey, Jess, look what I have on my table at all times.
Don't try to just distract from the.
You like that? You like that?
I mean, like, look what I have on my table.
I have that and my friend Christina's book, Chest Confessions. You guys should check it out.
Okay, check
it out. About her breast cancer. I'm not going to say adventures, but I'm going to say the whole. Anyway, it's a positive story. So
what is your who are your favorite comics?
JB Smoove. I mean, I was in the urban circuit, what they call the black circuit, whatever you want to call it, for years.
Yes, you were.
And when I bombed horribly in New Jersey at the Peppermint Lounge in 1994, I bombed horrifically.
Oh, someone just said they saw you crush in Sweden.
Ah, David, what's up? Comedian in Sweden. Long time, bro. He said he could do it wherever. Gracias. Thank you, bro. Why am I speaking in Spanish and you're writing me from Sweden? Thanks, bro. Yeah, David Drew is a comedian in Sweden, right? And he came to New York and he found me, if I remember the story correct. He saw me on Bad Boys of Comedy. He's like, they're going to do a festival in Sweden. And my manager, Os, who's a big comic out there, is putting together the festival, right, Jess?
Yep.
And so he had us come to New York and watch me. Luckily, I had a really good set. He put me in the festival. Me, Jessica Kirson, who's hilarious. Veronica Mosley, hilarious. And Marina Franklin was supposed to do it. And Godfrey was supposed to do it. But Bill Burr did it too. Bill Burr had his own hour. So they picked 5 of us to go to. It ended up only being actually 4 of us from the U.S. What's going on? What are you doing?
I'm just like, you're telling a story for one person. Okay, go back to your favorite
for
comic.
Everybody. Everybody can hear it.
Okay.
So I did the festival in Sweden. It was a great experience. Thanks, David. Fucking asshole.
Okay, Jason.
Why are you so distracted?
No,
why don't you? You have a live at 1:30. You're doing sit-ups, playing naked twist. What the fuck are you doing in there?
Listen,
Sit
down. Okay, listen.
You're like a 3-month-old puppy right now.
Okay. Who else? JB Smoove. Are you a
Louis C.K.?
Any of the old comics?
Well, Rodney. Come on, Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield, one of the best.
Yeah, Rodney was definitely one of the best. I mean, Eddie was my favorite as a kid.
Eddie. Do you think Eddie? Everybody knows Eddie's coming back. Do you think Eddie has any chance of being incredible again, or do you think he's just going to be fine?
My prediction,
yeah,
is I think he's super. I mean, from what you hear from all the top comics, he's the funniest guy in the world, like in person at his house. But, you know, I don't know who's kissing his ass, who's not. I don't know Eddie. You know what I'm saying? I know he had a lot of writers, right, for Delirious. And well, his other special, too, Raw.
Raw was
Right?
incredible. Every special
Yeah,
he's done
they're
is incredible.
incredible.
The thing is, he's done two.
I think what he needs, because comedy, there's so many comedians now running so many of the same topics. It's so much harder now to be original that I think he needs, if he's going to get writers, they better be top-notch original writers that aren't going to comedy clubs taking jokes from other comics to help him write. They better be like high-level comics helping him write, and then I think he could put together an amazing special.
And people are saying Jamie Foxx is underrated. I think Jamie Foxx is probably one of the most talented people on earth. Wouldn't you agree?
Too. I
like
agree.
weird, just a weird. He's got a great comedic ability. He's an incredible actor. He's insanely talented with music. That's a very weird thing to be great at all those things. And he's got a beautiful voice.
You know, he seems like he's one of the most talented people in Hollywood.
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, the fact that he's a great actor, too, you know?
Would you say he's a great comic?
I haven't seen him enough to give him that. I'd say, I don't know, probably. I really haven't seen him enough. I haven't watched enough of Jamie's stuff.
But you also tell me
Like
that you
great
love,
comic is you know, it's compare. You know, we're comparing to other great, right? There's a few greats.
Yeah. But you would say Chappelle's one of them.
Definitely.
Okay.
I watched Chappelle since I started.
Did you perform with Chappelle ever?
I've been on the same shows, yeah, plenty of times, because he would stop by when I would do open mics at Boston Comedy Club back in 93, 94. And I would, no, sorry, I'm reading something. And check it out. I would do at Boston Comedy Club a lot back in the early days, and he would stop by. He was already like one of the main comics in the circuit. He was probably 18 then, 17. He came over when he was like 14, I think, to New York. I think my friend Tony Woods was the one that really brought him here and helped him out a lot, you know? He even shouted out Tony Woods in a big speech with the Mark Twain Award or whatever. But, so, and also when we did the Toyota Comedy Festival with Secret Society, the sketch group with Donnell Rawlings, Donnell was in it, Red Grant, Mike Epps, my friend Rich Lewis, Mark Theobald, Jimmy Martinez, who I missed, Brooklyn Mike.
You've been around forever, bro.
Yeah, so Chappelle, when we did the Toyota Comedy Festival, Chappelle closed out our show because I guess Donnell had him, and he was a closer on that show. I've always watched him just improv, and he was so natural. He's just a comedic genius.
So you would say he's your top 5?
I'd say he's the best comedian out in the world, but he might not be the one that makes me laugh the most.
Louis C.K.?
Louis has me dying. His last special seemed a little rushed or something, like he put it up to put it up.
Right.
But the one before it was one of my favorite specials of all time.
I think that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Dave Attell, growing up in the comedy circuit, was my favorite at one time. You know?
Yeah, he's great. Dave Attell's great. Are there any
Chris Rock's great.
Kevin Hart?
Chris Rock's great.
Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart's a very good comic. I mean, great. I don't know. I don't think he would consider himself a Chappelle level, you know? But I think he's so likable and so talented, and I've always seen him perform great, you know? I don't know. I'm giving great to a few people, to like 5 to 10 people out now, you know? I think Kevin Hart he's by far the most famous, and he's the most successful comic, right?
Yeah.
Right now, super likable guy, too.
No, he's funny, though.
He's an excellent comic. I remember, let me tell you a story. When 1999, I opened for Greer Barnes, who's an excellent comic in Philadelphia at the Laugh House. And we heard there's another comedy show in the neighborhood. So we went, and Kevin, he has a specific side. I agree. I think Kevin Hart's a great comic. I just put 5 that are just that level.
Okay, so finish the story. You're in Philadelphia.
I'm in Philadelphia, and so we heard there was a comedy show going on. So we went. This is like 98, 99. Kevin Hart was like a real new comic then, and he was on that show. So I'm like, oh, this dude's funny. Like they're talking to me, and I'm like, I wasn't paying attention because I remember enjoying Kevin Hart's set that night and thinking this dude's going to be something. I just remember him performing all over the place and seeming super talented. So the first time I saw him, I thought he was going to be a star. That I can tell you.
No, I think you nailed it on the head by saying he's likable, and I think he has a certain appeal. Like, I know this is a little cheesy, but when he was in the movie with The Rock, I forgot what it was called. What was that movie with The Rock called, everybody, that Kevin Hart was in? The first one he did. That was really funny. Where they
I didn't get the girl 2 years later. Sorry. Never got her. Anyway.
I would say that he was funny. I would think Joy Coy is really funny, but I'm not going to give him like. You can't.
He's very funny comic. I know Joe Coy. He did Comic View when I used to do Comic View.
He's funny.
He took off.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Took off.
Chris Tucker used to be great, I think. I don't think he's that funny anymore.
I don't think he was great. I think, I heard he made it really quick from Def Jam. He had a really tight 5 to 10 minutes. And then I think he's a very good comic, though. I saw him live when my friend Terry Hodges was opening for him, invited me down.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an excellent set,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, okay, he's great. But then when I'm saying great, I'm saying the best, period.
Like, do you like George Carlin? You're not a Carlin fan?
I need to start watching him more because I never was a fan.
I like Carlin. Especially today. I think that because he's so politically charged, I like him a lot. And I think I really like Russell Peters, not because he's my friend, but I feel like Russell's one of those comics that, like, you could say whatever, but if you're there live, he's just quick live. He's a really good comic to watch live. He doesn't, for me, you can't tell what level he's at unless you see him in person. Oh, and I would agree. Johnny, my boy Johnny Utah, says Cat Williams. I would say Cat's my favorite. Besides you, Chappelle, Cat Williams is a level.
Is a beast.
He's a level.
I opened for Cat once, right? I was supposed to open twice. I don't want to tell that whole annoying story. But I opened for him in Newark Symphony Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my boy Jay hosted. I forgot who else went on. Then I went on right before Cat. And I couldn't ask for a better set, Like I said, like 20, 25 minutes, beginning to end, just proud of myself type of perfect opening and ripped those 3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Cat, I heard, was watching off stage, And Cat, I was like, I wanted to be on the tour. Because I heard this other white guy was doing the tour, Richie Redding. I'm cool with Richie. I heard he was already doing it. I'm like, I want to take his fucking spot, right? So I'm like, okay, if he saw the set, maybe I'll just get on the tour. And so I was also worried that he might not, when you rip like that sometimes, normally you rip like that, you're like, okay, let me see the next guy follow me. I hope he bombs. Like, we're so competitive. We're assholes.
Right.
But with that night, I was like, I hope he does great after me. I hope that didn't there's no yo, you were better than him, because that's bullshit,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So because like with someone, sometimes you open for someone, people are like, you should have closed. But meanwhile, you only did 15 minutes. The closer did an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So you put your tightest 15 in there. You rock it. Meanwhile, you didn't have 2 more minutes to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they think, I shouldn't have closed because I only had 15 minutes. He went on and crushed for a solid hour. I was watching like, wow, this dude's a genius. So I think Cat is up there too. And it's fun. After the show, Cat gave me a nice tip when I went to backstage. He reached in a duffel bag full of cash. He's just like, hey, man, you did your thing. I love what you did. He just handed me. It felt like, maybe like 520s. And I opened up. He gave me like a $600 tip.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's very, he's a weird one because comics are either, cerebral, physical, just bonkers. Like, he's able to be physical, cerebral, and go into that kind of third dimension of almost like a drug world where you can only paint the picture with your right hemisphere creative imagination. He's very imaginative. He creates scenarios, stories, but he's also physical. Usually guys who create those stories, like Chappelle. Chappelle creates those stories, and you kind of go into this world. You're like, whoa, he's painting a picture with his comedy, but he's not physical. He can't be physical. He's not built. His body won't allow him to be physical. That was what was great about Eddie. Eddie was the perfect amalgamation of funny, creative, quick, smart, intellectual, and physical.
Chappelle's a little physical, though. He's not like, he's kind of physical. A little
not
bit.
Like Cat.
It's more than Chris Rock. No, not like Cat. And definitely not like JB
not
Smooth.
like Chris Rock. No, not like
JB
Chris Rock.
Smooth.
At JB Smooth's peak, he was physical. He's less physical now.
Less physical now. He must be in his mid-50s now, right?
Yeah.
But his writing
Somewhere.
was always great too, like and unique. And I never remember him really talking about race. And when you're doing the urban comedy circuit, like everybody has, especially as a white comic doing the black comedy clubs, I got to bring up my situations being the white guy. You know, I have a lot of jokes about that.
Yeah.
I try to do it in an intelligent way. JB didn't do that. He just did like almost
Wait.
like the cartoon. What did he say?
You always say like you were the only.
Jim Gaffigan's an excellent comedian too, and Brian Regan. I agree.
What
Not
is,
my favorites, but I think
what-
they're actually great.
What do you always say about going to camp? You were the only white kid and the black kid. What is that? What you say?
Oh, my parents sent me to an all-black camp. No, summer before 6th grade is true, and the only other white kid at the camp was my black friend Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tommy Davison, Cat and Tommy Davison, a little bit, but Cat's a different level.
Cat's another level. I agree.
Yeah, I opened for both
I
of
saw
them.
Cat, and I met him backstage because my friend CJ was his DJ, and I hung out with him backstage. He's a very tiny human being, but he's an incredibly funny person. I like Bobcat too. I think Bobcat was, guys like.
There's
Bobcat.
a lot of really funny guys. I'm just putting when
Yeah.
I say, like I said, when I say great, I'm just saying who I think are the top geniuses of comedy.
I agree. I think
You know?
I think they're very few. Let's put it that way.
If they had like a Mount Rushmore of comedians, you know.
I think you might be the most underrated funny comedian in the world. I would say that. Like I look at guys, all these guys out here, and some of them are great, but I would say that you're probably the most underrated. By the way, she just cleaned the whole fucking stove, and I just ruined it in 2 seconds.
Oh, how did we forget? Pryor.
That's my coffee. This whole time I've been waiting to do this, Jay.
Wow, that's exciting, man.
It is exciting. It's fucking exciting.
Someone mentioned Pryor. Pryor is most comedians will put Pryor
my boy
down.
Josh mentioned Pryor earlier. Yeah. Oh, there. Josh mentioned him now. Yeah. I love Pryor, but I can't. Like to me, it's like when you love Dr. J. You love Dr. J. He's got style. He's got finesse. But like Jordan took Jay's game and became Jordan, so it's like weird. Eddie took Pryor's game. I mean, I don't know. Eddie Murphy to me is the ultimate quintessential comedian.
We're Eddie Murphy generation as kids, barely. Because
Yeah.
I was an Eddie fan from listening to him on a record. I didn't even watch the special. Just listening to a record. That's how great he is, that he was my favorite comedian from just listening to him.
Yeah.
And he's physical, and he's someone you want to watch, Because some comedians you really have to watch. JB, I think, is an excellent writer, but I still wouldn't love to just listen to his special. He could probably put together an hour of his one-liners and his jokes that are really funny, though.
I just watched the first 20 minutes of Jerry's new, Jerry Seinfeld's new thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through it. And I love comedians in cars drinking coffee, and I love Jerry Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld. Love Larry
One of the best
David.
shows ever, but not one of my favorite comics ever.
But I don't and I've actually liked Jerry stand-up before, but I feel like, and that's a question I have for you. As you get older, do you lose in comedy? Are you losing something? Is there because comedy to me, everybody who's really great at comedy, I feel like has really fucked up childhoods.
Definitely.
Like people are really fucked up in comedy. I think some of the most fucked up, narcissistic, need attention, pathetic, like yourself.
Yeah.
Like you'll admit it.
Sorry,
like,
I was seeing how many people were viewing this at that moment. I was worried.
Yeah, exactly. So, but because of that, I feel like, you get you get success like Seinfeld or whoever, and you're just not as funny.
Yeah. Also, I think, there's some comics that have a great first hour and they never really blow up, right?
Mm.
They get a lot of work. They're respected on the circuit.
Mm-hmm.
They're always working. Everyone thinks they're hilarious. They never really got an hour special on TV because once you do that hour on a big TV network, you can't do it again.
Right.
And they have this great hour, but do they have another great hour? They have the ability to do another great hour. So the great comics to me are the ones that do. That they've proven. That's why I'm giving them great, because they've proven they can do hour after hour. I heard George Carlin did like 13 HBO specials or something.
No, Chris Rock, to me, I saw Chris Rock like year after year was always great. And the one year I thought it wasn't as great. And then I saw
Que
him,
lo que a mi gente República Dominicana. Lo siento
Dominicano,
que no estoy
que lo que,
hablando.
que lo que. But I also feel like then I saw him again recently in Denver, and he destroyed it. He was like fucking hilarious. He was amazing. So Chris Rock's another guy who's always, even if you fail, you get up and you come back. And I don't know.
Chris Rock's sets are kind of like good books,
Yeah,
they feel
smart.
very solid. Chappelle, I like Chappelle more as a comedian, kind of. Like, it's hard to say. Chappelle's, I think he's more overall talented because his improv's off the chain. I saw him when Dane Cook did a 3-hour set, like 3 hours and 7 minutes at Laugh Factory. He had the record for the longest set. I mean, you can't really beat his record because the owner's not going to let anyone perform more than 20 minutes anyway. Unless you're a superstar. I've seen him live. He was decent. He was funny to me. Like, funnier than I thought he would be from watching the specials, So he's a good comic.
It's hard. It's so hard.
But he knows what he's doing. He's a good comic. You know what I'm saying?
Jason,
not my favorite.
I will say this, and I know a lot of funny people. We both know funny people. I'm a funny person. We came up in the neighborhood with funny people. You know what I mean?
Justin could have been a great comic. I'll say that.
Yeah, but
you could have been. Like, Justin's impressions and his characters, when he gets in his zone of doing characters, I haven't met a comedian that makes me laugh as hard as when you're making fun, imitating me or imitating whoever you do. And by the way, when people call the wrong number or call his house,
it's over for them.
No one does it better than him.
Chopping block, motherfuckers. But
so you could have been on Saturday Night Live if that was your focus.
But this is why it's interesting, because I believe the same thing as you. I think that a lot of people could have been comedians. There's probably a lot of incredible comedians that went under the radar. But to have the fucking balls, the cojones, to get on stage night after night, I mean, you've been booed. I've seen it. You've had standing ovations. You see
me get booed? On tape, right?
Yeah, on tape.
Okay.
Never in person.
Right.
But I've seen it and I've heard the stories, and it's fucking rough. Like, comedy to me is the ultimate exposure of your soul to the universe, where it's like, it seems just so fucking brutal, man. Like, over and over. And for what? Sometimes, I mean, I've seen you do clubs where it's like 10 people. Then I've seen you do 1,000 people. I've seen it all.
Right.
So it just feels like probably one of the most brutal, gnarly occupations to do over and over. You have to constantly try to fucking be funny, and
it's overall pretty painful. It's painful. It's temporary highs. It's like crack. I've never smoked it, but comedy is basically where crackheads.
Oh, fuck! I just spilled my drink because that shit was funny.
No, but we're basically crackheads.
Because that was that funny, but it's true. It is. And Scotsman asks, is comedy something learned or something that's natural? I think it's both. I think it's both.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think I've seen some comics out there that they're never funny off stage, and their jokes to me aren't funny on stage, but they've picked jokes that just work. Yeah. I don't laugh at them. I don't see they're not unique, nothing, but they work so fucking hard at their career, sending out headshots every day, whatever they're doing. I don't even know if people send headshots anymore. But whatever they're doing, they work so hard, and they've made themselves a more successful comic than where I'm at now. I'm happy where I'm at now because I'm enjoying doing El Tigre Bacano in Dominican Republic. I'm not really making money from it, but I found happiness. I found something unique. I'm the only one doing it, and I actually love being there,
Yeah.
Like, amo República Dominicana mucho y quiero vivir allá un día. I want to live there and here.
Yeah, and I think there's something, you're exposing your soul to the universe. You're constantly having to be on. And I find that a lot of times, a lot of comedians, this is not always, I feel like the seasoned comics are chill, they're calm, whatever. But then you got guys who just like, don't just like shut, like, oh, it's exhausting. So it's exhausting to be around comedians because they're always, it feels like guys that are really deeply in the culture, right? Because comedy has a culture like art does, like music does. They really are always testing their fucking shit out, and it's exhausting to be around them. Yeah. So you got to think about, like, how impossible is it to be in a relationship with a comedian, Jason?
Ask my girlfriend that I don't have. Ask my wife that I never had. Ask my kids that aren't around because I don't have any.
Well, there you go, guys. You see that?
I think I'm ready now, though. I think I'm ready now.
You're not ready.
I'm ready.
Fucking
Corona
weirdo.
keeps me home. Like I'm here.
Oh God.
You know?
Bullshit.
Anyway, but
Oh
yeah.
God. But it's true. It's true. It's like you always have to like, and then and comedians also they take off. They're always touring and they're traveling and they're working their shit. I feel like you're not solid as a comic unless you make it to a certain thing. And the road's also exhausting, right? I mean, let's talk about the road.
I hate
You
the
do
road.
the road, man. I've talked to Jason so many times. He's like, yeah, I'm in a car with 3 guys. We're on our way to like Philly. Then we got to drive back tonight. It's like a 4-hour drive. I'm just like, holy shit.
Right, this snowstorm is scary.
The snowstorm, this guy's speeding. This is like,
Well,
en no speaking inglés, habla español. It's no.
My road work was mostly between like 99 and maybe 2007, like 9, maybe those 10 years.
Yeah.
2010, like when I was doing a lot of the all black shows and I'd be booked as the token white dude, there was maybe like 5 to 10 of us that were known in the United States to get booked to do those rooms.
Mm-hmm.
New York, maybe like 3 of us, at that time. So there was work for me, But we would get booked. I didn't do a lot of the mainstream comedy clubs on the road. I did some. Where'd you go? What are you doing? I did some, but I didn't do. I feel so lonely when you leave the screen.
I know.
This is why this is why I can't do a Zoom.
I know, but it's also why you. That's also why you're a comedian. Because if I do this, Jason's like, "Where did he go? Where can I be funny? I need someone. I got to call someone and tell a joke to them."
Yeah.
It's like 1 second.
Loneliness.
Yeah. Well, that's the life you chose.
The road is so lonely. I didn't do a lot of the road gigs that were the mainstream comedy clubs. Like back in those days, I could have opened for like someone kind of famous and just done those road main clubs. But that wasn't my life. My life for 10 to 12 years was every night in a black comedy club. So there weren't many black comedy clubs in the country, hardly any. So the people would book private show, like nights at a club or a theater. And they booked like 4 or 5 comics they consider headliners all on the same show. They'll put the one they consider the headliner last. You know what I'm saying? Usually put me in the middle a lot of the time, white guy in the middle, make a little Oreo show, But I'll do, but then you get paid a good amount of money for those 20 minutes. You only have to do like 20. So I get paid like double of what I get paid to do 6 shows opening at a mainstream comedy club with 1 set. That was kind of my life. So I didn't experience a lot of the mainstream clubs throughout my road gigs. But my road gigs were, a lot of them were horrendous. Driving 7 hours and then not getting paid. And you're not going to fight because it's like 15 thugs in the back. Like, okay, you're not getting paid. Now what? Nothing. Can I have some gas money, though, to get back to New York, And then crazy. I got so sick of it. So when I started getting booked on the cruise ships, it was kind of a relief from that because I just knew I got my money, whether or not if the gig was canceled within 2 weeks, I get paid. It was very corporate. It was very consistent. I knew how much I was making every month for the first time. Let's say I started them in 2012. So for the first, and I started, so for the first time in like 19 years, I'm finally knowing how much I'm going to make every month. With comedy, usually you have no clue. Even your business too, art too.
No,
any art,
any art business, anything art related. So, Jason, I have a couple questions. Where are you going now? After the gates are lifted, the walls are opened, everybody's getting back to work. They're already getting back to work in Wyoming and Montana and Texas. Pretty much all in the Midwest. People are working again. People are going back. What is the new iteration of Jason Andors? Are you going to do cruise ships? Are you going to work the circuit? Are you just going to move to the Dominican Republic and just start doing sets in Spanish only, solo español?
I don't know exactly what the future has
Do you not have a fucking plan? You're fucking idiot.
No, my plan is I'm slowly starting to work on the documentary of my life, coming from being, had this little Jewish kid pretty much become a famous Dominican and what happened in the middle. And I don't know, I don't know exactly what's going to be in the doc. I have ideas. I have big ideas. But I definitely want to show. I started learning comedy in Spanish in Dominican Republic. I'm up to about 20 minutes. I did a 20-minute set. I want to get at least 30 to 40, and we'll put 3 other big Dominican comics together. I want to do a tour around the world for Dominicans living around the world. And there's enough countries in Europe and all over the place that have enough Dominicans to sell out a theater in each place. So that is definitely something I want to do. That and the documentary.
Jason, my friend and collector Chris, Surfer 17ER, asked, any gigs scheduled in SoCal? No, right? I mean, you're not.
No, there's no gig
nothing
scheduled anywhere right now.
I mean, Joe, so let me just tell you some illuminating information from Joe Rogan that I understood is that Rogan, they were trying to tell him that the Comedy Store is not going to be fully reopened until 2022. So he basically just said, fuck California. And from what I listened to him, and this is with Brian Callen, Schwab, him, I don't know where Eddie Bravo stands on it. We're friends with Eddie, but I don't know where Eddie stands on it. But it seems like they're going to move to Texas because as of right now, last night, night before, they're doing 200 people rooms. They're at 50% capacity. So the 400 rooms are 200. I guess the 100 rooms are 50, et cetera, and so on. So pretty soon there'll be 100% capacity. My friend called me from San Antonio the other day. It was a fully packed restaurant. So do you think that you want to start maybe booking gigs in places that are opening like Texas and, you know?
Yeah, I do gigs.
Know.
I mean, I've done gigs in Texas, like wherever I can. I would probably do the cruises again if they come back.
I don't think you should do the cruises because I think that you are such a valuable mind. You don't need to do that. But
it's good money for if I could do a week a month. It gives me good money to go to DR and work on what I'm doing. You know, I'm not going to get that money at other shows.
Okay, Chris, what do you mean, dude? California and say fuck California? You mean like let's open up again? He says Costa Rica. You know, that's a good thing, man. Like any place. Dominicana, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, Salvador, whatever, you should do them all. You know?
Oh, I should in Spanish.
In Spanish.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I mean, you should. Your fame is. You guys don't understand. This guy is like mind-bogglingly legendary, famous in Dominican Republic. He can't even do anything without getting attacked by fans. So
not as bad as you're saying, but it's bad. It's become big out there.
I've seen it.
It's funny. It's humorous. It gets to the point where it's just take it up, you know, it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm not making money from it, so I enjoy it. I love the people there. But
Jason,
I want to tour the world. No, okay. Hey, let's do the wave. Attach the wave, bro.
Listen, I have a really important question. What do you think your biggest contribution to the world is? By the way, going live Oakland, they opened Texas and their cases of COVID skyrocketed. Okay. Anyway, my friends in Texas are having the best time ever. Go ahead.
What's your question?
What is your greatest contribution to the world?
I think it's starting now. It's all starting with
so you don't know what it is?
It's starting with Tigre Bacano.
Okay. I thought it was going to be our best friendship, but whatever.
No. Well, is that a contribution to the world? I mean,
yes, it is because you're part of a legacy that I'm bringing to the world, and you're nothing more than a stepping stone for me. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I think I think your character you've created is great, and I love watching you now speak, doing sets in Spanish, and I just feel like that is potentially. You've got so much there. You know what I mean?
Well, we're doing a charity now. I've done two. We built a lady a house. I partnered with a big charity, John Payame, and we built a lady living in a shack, an actual livable house. We got that done. I went with her to a hospital, visited sick kids in Dominican Republic. Right now I'm doing my own charity with my friend Jocko. We got like Team Tigre Bacano in Dominican Republic working on it. And there was a guy with a house full of garbage. Around his house, rats everywhere. It floods during the rain. The tin roof with holes in it. We just fixed up his house, and we're going to finally put the new roof on. So we did that. I did that from here. Just having my boy out there do all the work, get everything organized. And I just did a GoFundMe and got it. So truthfully, that's why I think that's going to be my biggest contribution, because we're going to do more, and we really have big goals.
So you're building
to do-
home. You're building homes for people that can't afford it in Dominican Republic.
We've done 2 already, and we want to build a school. Like I really want to build a performing arts school for junior high school kids in the hood, Bija Meja, if I can. That would be an amazing goal, to build a whole school and have scholarships for talented kids or to come in. That's a big ass project.
I want to go with. I want to go with you, Dominican Republic. I want to see your people there. I want to meet the Dominican people, and I want to go out there and perhaps paint for a little while.
You should.
Might as well.
You should.
Because every time, I'm very jealous every time you're there, and it seems like such a fertile country with amazing people, warm people, friendly people, and you're so famous, so why not go with you, right?
You should go, and you should paint.
Although I feel very scared going to the places you go to, because I came up in the hood. I don't want to go back. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you should come back, B.
Yo, man, it's like, I'm scared, B. Like, I've been through that. You know what I'm saying? I'm done, bro.
Yo, but I'm saying, B, you need to come down to Dominican Republic. I got your back, son. Where we go all the barrios.
Motherfucker gotta be strapped. Got my back, man, over there. I'm telling you right now, son.
I can't even look at my quarantine hair right now. It's just like, can my barber start working? So
they say cops are no joke in the Dominican Republic. Is that true? Are they scary over there?
Yeah. The cops are no joke because they get paid horribly. You know what I mean? Like, the cops are corrupt money on the side?
Yeah.
But at least they get decent salaries here.
So are you saying but because you're friends with the mayor and all those people, that helps you out, right?
I mean, I don't ask favors. I'm sure they would do a favor. You know, I'm just, they treat me well in Santiago. And then in the capital, I'm more like my cousin. You know, that crew is very famous there. Like my cousin, the music crew. Mm-hmm. My cousin's name is El Americano de Bachata. He's a doctor in the United States. And he works part-time as a temp doctor in the States and comes back and plays bachata and lives without work in Dominican Republic. And he plays with some of the legends out there.
So everybody who doesn't know, Jason Andors, incredible comic. Check out where can they see your stuff? Like besides just YouTube? Should they, or obviously follow him on Instagram? That's number one. But where could they get snippets of your comedy too? Just on YouTube?
Yeah, you can go to YouTube. I got the YouTube channel. I don't use YouTube a lot. I use Instagram the most, but I want to start using YouTube. My El Tigre Bacano, I just started a page.
Okay.
My spelling's same as my Instagram. I just started a TikTok too. You got to do what you got to do.
You're a little old for TikTok, but that's okay. Look at guys. I just pinned where to follow Tigre, so you got to follow him. If you're not following him now, you got to follow him. He's incredibly funny. He's got a lot of skits. If you don't speak Spanish, go
to Jason Andors YouTube. I got some old clips there. And even I got a cool reel, that good reel I used to have. They took it off YouTube right when I had like almost 1 million views. It was getting like 1,500 a day or something. And it was up to 967,000. Like 8 years ago, they took it off because the person that owned Bad Boys of Comedy had them search anyone that used any clips from Bad Boys of Comedy because he started his own channel. But I only had a 30-second clip, which would have been a great commercial to go to his page. But they cut it off. It was so depressing. I was on a cruise, and then, I'm like, at least I got this video.
Everything is censored. Even Instagram has been censored, and YouTube is censored, and you're probably one of the most, although you're super duper famous in Dominican Republic, you're probably one of the most powerful comedians of our generation, and I think people really need to figure that out. So, thanks, bro.
And on Vimeo, by the way, on Vimeo.com, if you look up Jason Andors and the word Showtime,
you
can see the reel they took off YouTube. I still put it there just for people that need to,
We have 30 seconds left, so
I love you.
I love you too, and
you're more than a friend. Your family.
Your family too, but stop borrowing money from me and your family as well. I love you.
Love you too, man.
Love everybody out there.
I've never borrowed money from you. Okay. But you let me stay at your house. He's let me stay at his house
I let you
20
stay
years
all the
when
time.
I go to LA.
I let you stay every time.
Every time. 20 years.
Yeah.
Come on. That's friendship.
Yeah, that is. That's
I
a
don't want
hand.
to tell you what I don't want to tell you what he makes me do to him, but yeah.
It's okay. You have nice skin.
Thank
Talk
you.
later. Bye.
Peace.